Stampers, this is Dawn, and today we're going to talk about the layering alphabet edgelets. These are the edgelets right here. You get 34 pieces in the collection. And there's also coordinating stamp set called lined alphabet, and you can buy these in a bundle and save 10%. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This piece right here is pretty important to this collection here, to the layering alphabet, because you're going to put your alphabet inside these little grooves here. So let me show you how this is going to work. So I'm just going to take one off of here, and I'm going to put it into the base. And there's only one way you can put this in. So you have a square base here, and then it's an oval shape up the top. And you're going to slide in your alphabet just like that into the base. That's how it's going to run through the big shot. Okay, so you're going to also see on this base, you're going to have notches. You're going to see them on the bottom and then also on the top. The furthest out notch, the one notch at the top and the bottom, this is going to cut your largest piece of cardstock for the 5.5 inch base, and then this piece cuts about 4.25 inch piece. So when you're cutting your letters, let me see here, depending on the card base that you want it to fit, you'll have at least two sizes, your bases of your cards. Okay, so let me explain this a little bit more with the cardstock. So as you can see with this cut here is the largest cut with the base. So I went for the furthest out notch right here and right here, and it cuts out this size. Okay, and then this piece cuts out the smaller, so you can see the two notches right here. This is about a 4.25 inch piece. Okay, so you can see the difference right there next to each other. So now let me show you on a piece of cardstock. Okay, so this is your base of your, like a Whisper White piece. This is 4.25 by 5.5. So this piece, this is the smallest piece, which is the 4.25. This is going to layer right onto that piece really well, so you can see that it fits there. Now if I turn it this way, it's not going to fit as well, as far as the point to point is what I'm talking about. And then you take the 5.5 inch side. So now this is the 5.5 inch piece of Whisper White. Now this piece measures on that a lot better. Okay, so those are the two sizes at least that you can cut with your base of your edgelets. Okay, so now you can tell by my card, I even cut it down smaller than that, and that's an option too if you want to do that. And I seem to do that a lot with this collection. This is the exact same card, but I even cut it smaller, so you can go smaller as well. Okay, and then let me show you this one. Now this is using the larger piece. This is the larger size here, so I spelt out congrats. So this is on a piece of Whisper White cut at 4 by 5.25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down with you on screen here. So I'm going to make it fit onto my Whisper White piece. So even though it was a larger cut with the edgelets, I still was able to cut it down to fit on a regular size base, which is the 4 by 5.25. And then this would layer onto your base of your card, which is the 5.5 by 4.25. Okay, isn't that cute? Okay, and then here's another one. This is using the smaller section on the edgelet right here. And this is a 3.25 by 5 inch piece of Whisper White. So once again, you can cut that down, but I kind of like it hanging over on the smaller piece, because then you can have it hang over onto the base as well, like that. Okay, so those are multiple uses on how to decide on what you want to use for the size of your edgelets using your base. Okay, so now let me show you how to use this with your big shot. So let's grab that. Okay, so I have two pieces of cardstock here. I cut this one at 2.5 inches wide by 4.75, and then this one is cut at 3 inches by 5.75, and these are both going to cut both of the sizes of the base on your edgelet platform right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to cut the first one, the smaller one. So you're going to take your two notches. That's going to cut your smallest. Now I found with the 2.5 inch piece, you should just be able to line it up right along the edge right here, and it should be perfectly aligned. Then you're going to take your letter, and you're also going to notice that I've labeled all my letters so you can see what they are really quickly, because sometimes it's kind of hard to decide if it's an N or a U. So you can see on my alphabet here, I labeled all the letters. Okay, so you might want to do that. And I just took a really fine point Sharpie and I just labeled them. Makes it a little bit easier to locate them. All right, so you're going to see that you have a square base and a rounded base, and you're also going to put it with the cutting side face down into those grooves, and it locks in really nicely, making sure the 2 notches are lined up on the edge, and then we're going to cut that through the big shot. Okay, so then this is going to be your section that you cut, and then this is the negative part of the W. Pretty awesome. So now we're going to cut the other side. So this, remember, is 3 by 5 3/4 because your base is longer now. So you're going to take your edgelet, and it should go right up against the edge of your 3 inches, and it should line up with your 2 points on the edge, just like that. Okay, we're going to take our W again, lock it in, and then cut that through. So then here's the other W, and then the negative as well. Okay, so one more thing. We're going to cut an individual letter. So I'm going to just take a piece of black cardstock, and instead of using the base, we're just going to use the letter. Let me show you how this works. So you can cut it without the base if you just want the letter part. Okay, so your letter is attached to the cardstock. So now all you're going to do now is you're just going to remove it from the base. So I'm just going to cut that from there. And there's your letter separated. Okay? Alright, so that's all the big shot. And then here's one that I made with my name. And then this piece of Whisper Away just cut it 4 by 5 1/4. So you can see that the smaller section of the base, which is the 2 notch right here, fits on the 4-inch base perfectly as well. Okay, here's the other letters, the small and the large. And then here's the individual letters that you can actually cut out as well with the same edgelet. And then also here's one that I stamped with the stamp set, the letter M. Let me show you the stamp set again. So the stamp set is photopolymer, so you can see through exactly where you're stamping, so it makes it easy to line it up. I wouldn't stamp it and then try to cut it out with the edgelet, but definitely cut it out and then stamp it. It would be a little bit easier. Okay, so here's all the other pieces that I made. I can show you those. And here's the congrats. And then the 2 hellos. Okay, so that's it. So that's a little bit of information about the layering alphabet edgelets, and then also the coordinating stamp set called Lined Alphabet. I'll have all the items listed below, and then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.